I have never imagined that life will move this fast. I thought I would be 21 forever. I have never imagined that I would one day turn 30. Like, I have never thought of what my 30 would look like. I have never imagined myself being 30 years old. And just like a dream, life has gradually pushed me out of my 20s. 30 what? Life moves so fast. Like, I could just remember being 21 just yesterday, and today I'm talking about being 30. My name is Mick Nazar, and if you're seeing my face for the first time, I'm a mom, a wife, and I do content related to that. And I also do natural hair because that content is so dear to my heart. So you may want to consider subscribing, because I know with this new phase of life, my content is going to evolve too. Like, it's going to look like a 30-year-old woman's content, and I plan on being a lot more consistent here. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to share this video to someone who may enjoy watching it. Thank you so much. I don't know if there is someone who felt like me, like you've never imagined what your 30 will look like. Like, I have never thought of it. I have never sat down to say, oh, my 30s, I will do this. In my 30s, I will do that. I have never thought of it. I have always felt like 20 was my comfort zone. And in these 20s, I laid down my card. I stayed in 20. I don't know if this happens to every other 29, 30-year-old lady, but 29, 28 years felt like the most crucial year of my life. Those 2 years, I don't know what midlife crisis will look like, but you see 29, you see 28, felt like quarter life crisis. There were lots of things that I needed to unlearn, and one thing that stood out for me was the need for peace. Like, I was chasing peace, chasing silence, chasing calm with all my strength. I just needed peace. I just needed peace and quiet. Anything chaos scared me so much. 28, 29, I just wanted to be left alone. And that came from a place of me feeling like there is a lot that I wanted for myself at 30, or I would have wanted for myself at 30 that I did not achieve. Like I said, 20 was like the year I laid down all my cards, and I felt like before my 20s ended, a lot should have happened for me. Like, my businesses should be flying. Like, I have never had the intention of working a 9 to 5 in my life. I just felt like in this my 20s, everything should be in place. So all I was doing was make sure that my business should be thriving. At the end of the day, I should be very independent. I shouldn't lack. Like, there were lots of things I wanted for my 20s. There were a lot of things I struggled hard for, a lot of things I worked hard for. And just when I became 29, 28, at that point, I started seeing things in a different direction. I just wanted calm. I was no longer aiming for the hustle mentality. I don't care what any other person thinks. All I care about now is how peaceful life would get. Like, I just want peace. I don't know if any other person who is in their 20s, 30s, I don't know if this is how everybody feels, but this 29, 28 brought me to that phase of life where all I desired was peace. Nothing chaotic. I don't want a 9 to 5. I don't want a life where I have to wake up early in the morning and I have to be running off. Like, it never occurred. Like, I didn't want that kind of life. When it first of all started, I just felt like maybe because I am someone who never wants to work a 9 to 5, so maybe that was why I felt that way. Like, now I feel like I'm in my reflective mode. I'm in that mode of life where I'm looking at things like, is this going to profit me long term? Should I step into this? Should I not? It just brought me into that reflective mode where I'm now a lot more graceful, a lot more calmer, a lot more reasonable. Like, I no longer judge people from what they do or how they respond to issue. I just saw that everybody is struggling with something. Everybody is trying to fit in. Everybody is still doing their best. Nobody has arrived. It's the lesson that this stage of life has taught me. Will I say everything I wanted for my 20s I got? No. Looking back now, I would say that my 20s was a year where I explored a lot of things. I was a student. I graduated. and this is something I should be grateful for. I became a mom, I became a wife in my 20s. I became a mom in my 20s. I did a lot of business that failed, some thrived, all in my 20s. My 20s feels like it was a very long years for me. Like it feels like I have been in this 20 for so long. That is what my 20 feels like I've been in it for so long. And for what is what, I am grateful for my 20s. I had my life planned out on what I wanted, and that in my 20s I should be married, I should be done with childbearing before 30. I should have my business thriving before 30. I just had a lot of things, and I would say in my book a lot were ticked for me, and I'm so grateful to God that. So I don't know if everybody felt like me in their 20s, like you felt like 20s was the year for you. Like in my 20s I felt like I have come into my year. So in 20s I felt like that was the only year I had. Like 20s was going to be 20 forever. There was no other year. Like 20 is 20. I didn't have any mindset of I was going to leave this 20 to go to any other age. So I wanted everything to be done, and that was not right. So it felt like I was rushing life. I was pursuing life. It felt like I was pushing beyond what I could handle, and I didn't give myself space to breathe. Like, because turning 29, I just got to that phase where I felt like I pushed myself too much in my 20s. Even those things that I was pushing for, some of it did not come, but I know that God's timing is always the best. Career wise, I would say I did not really achieve my aim in my 20s. Yeah, in my 20s I did not, like this year I did not achieve my aim, even though I tried a lot of things. But I believe that the experiences I have gathered, career wise, business wise, everything wise, from my 20s, I believe that this year, this new age is going to cover up for that. As for being a mother that early, I would say God has been faithful. It is not easy. Like it just felt like life was go, 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 go. You are doing this, you are in school, you are graduating, you are having kids, you are managing marriage, you are managing, like it just felt like a lot. Marriage wise, giving myself a lot more grace. Immediately I turned 29, I just started giving myself so much grace. What I cannot finish today, I tell myself you are able to do it tomorrow. For my 30s, what I'm promising myself is to be a lot more consistent with whatever I choose to do with life. So my advice for you, if you are turning 30 like me, if you haven't achieved everything you wanted to achieve in your 20s, God's timing is always the best. That is the grace I've given myself. God's timing is always the best. And even if we beat ourselves up for not achieving those things we wanted to achieve in our 20s, what would you do? Can you take back the hands of time? No. So because we cannot take back the hands of time, just give yourself grace. Pick up everything that you couldn't do in your 20s as a lesson and move it up to your 30s. That is what I have promised myself. Forgiving the errors I made in my 20s, that is the phase I am now in my life. Forgiving the errors I made in my 20s and believing that God's timing is always the best if you are putting in your best. So if you made a lot of mistakes, you were not able to achieve a lot of things, I have always been a firm believer that whatsoever you put your mind to do consistently, God will favor it. And consistency was something I lacked in my 20s, and I forgive myself. In my 30s, I would do better. And turning 29 brought a lot of fear, a lot of, I don't know if anybody felt or anybody have felt such fear, a lot of fear, like, am I moving into another phase of life? It brought a lot of doubts, a lot of thinking. It just brought a lot of things that emotions. It brought a lot of emotions that I cannot really talk about or I cannot really express. But I am so glad that I have begun to snap out of it, and I've become a lot more forgiving of myself. I'm giving myself more patience, and I am taking lessons from my 20s to help my 30s become better. I never imagined this age was possible. I thought 20s was where everything would start. I just thought 20 was the year to lay down my card. So I'm going to pick up that card now and lay it all down in my 30s so that I would not have any regrets in my 40s. Back and just counting my blessings has just made it lighter, and I feel God outdid what he needs to do for me in my 20s, and I know he will do more for me in my 30s. So every mistake I made in my 20s, I'm hoping and praying to correct it. And it's so much rush I had in my 20s, even though God's timing was the best, my rush was nothing. I am hoping it becomes something profitable in my 30s. So if you are turning 29, 30, if you are a 1996 baby, 1995 baby, just leave it in the comment section. It's so funny that we were just 21 yesterday and today we are turning 30. I'm excited about this phase of life, and what I'm promising myself in this phase is to be a lot more consistent. So what are you promising yourself in your 30s?